Hi there, my name is Chewy. So I've been wanted to talk about some basic gua sha information for a really long time. So I'm very glad that today I have the chance to do it finally. Some of you might not even know what is gua sha. So as you can see from the image here, it's basically a method to use some kind of a material to scrap out the bad substances inside our body. For some scenario, it could be a jade, a jade gua sha board. So we can actually scrap over our skin, and with the technique, then we can remove the bad substances inside our body, the bad blood, the bad water, and the bad vapor. This actually Chinese medicine have 6 methods that have been passed on since these 2000 years. The 6 methods are acupuncture, medicine, gua sha, moxibustion, massage, and exercise. Exercise meaning things like qigong and meditation, also very good stuff. So gua sha is definitely one of the very good method that has been passed on for many years, and in fact it is very common in China family. Most of the family know how to use this technique, and it helps them to maintain their body and their health for the whole family. So what gua sha do is that it actually force, like I say, force out the bad thing. So as you can see here, so the blood or the water or the vapor is actually from the capillary, which the layer is very thin. The outer layer of the capillary is as thin as a piece of paper thinner. So it's not from the artery or the vein. So it's some kind of and the good blood will not be forced out of the body. It's a natural mechanism of our body. Our body is very smart. They don't anyhow throw away the blood. It's only those wasted bad stuff, then they will send it out of our body. So gua sha, I always like to tell my customer that it's like a spring cleaning. It's a detox method. It take away the bad stuff, the dirty stuff, and make our blood cleaner, so that our whole body environment is cleaner, such that our immune system can go up. It's really a very wonderful way to help us maintain our body health. Is some method, a lot of method. For example, medicine, is a method that use a plus method to enhance our health, and gua sha is mostly a minus method. The major use of gua sha is to minus away the bad thing in our body. It's actually much more suitable in today's lifestyle, because like last time the people are undernourished, but now we are usually overnourished. So it's actually much more important to remove away the bad thing inside our body, such that our body is able to absorb the good things for our good health. Okay, so I would like to show some examples. So one example here is a very typical sha that most of you have seen on the internet. That is the red color sha. So this one is when the bad blood is being driven out of the body, but please don't always try to aim for this, because we should let our body decide what is to be what is to be disposed of. For some people, the problem is mainly in water. So you won't have a red like or black color like of a colored sha, but you will have things like that, which is like there's no color, it's like white, no color, but you can see that the skin has been thickened. This is when the dirty water inside our body has been released through the capillary. And the third example is here. So this is when the pores of the skin has opened up. That means that for this case, mostly the body want to dispose of the dirty vapor in our body. So you can see that in every scenario, and for everyone, when we use the same method to gua for them, everyone will have different color and distribution of the sha, because everyone has different body condition. And I would like to share about a personal story about gua sha. As a medical person, actually I have a lot of examples. I can't finish them. So for some of you might know, Chinese medicine actually follow a clock, like we see here, like between this 11 to 1 p.m. is actually the gallbladder meridian time. So as a reminder, for example, some people who always wake up between midnight, like 1 to 3 a.m. So it's actually a very alarming sign, because it means that the liver could have some issue, and the person should go and check out. And like for Western medicine, many people think that liver disease is very hard to be diagnosed of, because there's no early signal, because liver don't have the cell to feel the pain. But actually for Chinese medicine, you can look at, you know, the unusual timing whereby your body have some reaction, and this is a very strong indication. Also, okay, so back to my own story. So I was having this insomnia during this 11 p.m. to 1 p.m. I think for about 2-3 weeks. So it was very unusual for me, because I always sleep at 11 p.m. That's my regular sleeping hours. And knowing the timing, you know, I see the consistency. So I actually did gua sha. I asked my colleague to do some gua sha for me on the gallbladder meridian, which is actually the side of the body. And in fact, the very exact night, I can actually fall asleep. And you know, it's really very amazing to listen to all this TCM story and experience it myself. And in this scenario, it lasted for about 4 months, and it come back again after 4 months, and I did the gua sha again, and now I'm okay again. I hope is solving the problem this time, so I hope that it don't come back. So I would like to talk about the different types of tools. Sometimes we can use this olive oil, or you know, as a medium we need to put on some oil, or we can use some medication oil, especially for the Chinese medicine oil. For face, sometimes we use not serum, it's something like cream, you know, depending. And so for the tools, we can use this buffalo horn. Some of you might find it cruel, or some can use some copper alloys, and the jade, like I say. Or you can also use the spoon, the Chinese, the ceramic spoon, or the coins, the silver coins, you know, like depending on the shape and place that you want to gua sha on. So you can actually decide on the tools. So the focus of today's video is actually on the things not to do for gua sha, because it's very important to know. So the first thing is we need to avoid the cold wind, avoid wind when we are doing or after gua sha. This is because why gua sha can actually remove the bad thing outside is because the pores are opening up. The pores are like a small window of our body. So when all the windows are open up, so the bad thing can go out easily, but at the same time the bad thing from outside can also easily come into our body. That's why after gua sha, we need to cover it up, especially when we are going out. For example, if you gua your hand, you need to cover up with your clothes, and don't let it expose under the wind. And if let's say when you are doing gua sha, we don't direct the fan and the aircon at us, because it will allow the cold wind to go into our body easily. So let's not do that. And second thing is actually gua sha is a method, is a green therapy method, because it actually activates the self-immune system of our body. It's like using our own soldiers to fight the war. For example, you know, like medicine, right? Medicine is a plus method. So that means that the medicine will give us additional power to fight, additional soldiers to fight the disease. But for gua sha, we are not taking anything outside. We are using our own internal soldiers to fight the war. So you don't want to overuse your soldiers, you know, you need to retain it. So we don't advise a long time and big area of gua sha of many parts. You know, one time better keep it like within 30 minutes. And depending, especially for if you are very young and very healthy, very strong, you can do it a bit longer. But if let's say a person is very old and very weak, you have to be very careful at the strength and the time of doing the gua sha, because you know the person don't have much soldiers inside the body. You know, you don't want to overuse the soldiers. The the good thing about, I think a lot of people already know this, have this concept that we should avoid eating medicine if we can. That's why the green therapy method is good, because it relies on our own body. You know, we just wake the soldiers up, you know, like, hey, you know, there's this bad people coming, you know, wake up and drive them away. Because when we take medicine is always something that is more skewed towards one side. You know, the property of the medicine is always skewed. It's like when a person is too black, okay, so the doctor will give some medicine that is more white, so as to make it more neutral, you know, because neutral is the right body condition. So in that sense, every time the medicine can be too much for the body. So in all scenario, we would avoid all medicine, including Western and Chinese medicine if we can. But of course, when we need to, we will take them. That's why in general, Chinese medicine really advocates a lot on the green therapy, like acupuncture, gua sha, moxibustion, massage, this kind of thing, to rely on ourselves instead of like you know, like taking something outside and external. And in fact, the body is like if, let's say, your body has a lot of toxic, so no matter how many good, you know, vitamin or good stuff that you eat, right, the body cannot really absorb. It's like if a bottle of water, you know, there's black water in it, so if you add some good water, the water will still be black, you know, because there are some contamination inside. So what you should do is actually to pour away the black water so that it's an empty and clean bottle. Then now you pour in some good water, so the bottle will have some good water. So that's the analogy for Chinese medicine, and that's why Chinese medicine also focus a lot on this kind of a minus method to treat a patient. And okay, so the usually the advice is to drink 1 cup of water after gua sha, so as to help the metabolism. When the sha stays on the skin, so you need to flush it off, you know, for the body to generate it away. And the same reason as the cold wind, so we don't bathe within 3 hours. We need to wait for 3 hours so that the pores actually close up before we go for a bathe. And best go for a warm bath, you know, don't use cold water. And that so the bottom line is that this gua sha actually uses up the soldier inside your body, that means your own strength. So we don't want to overdo it. Every day we do a bit is fantastic for our body, but we don't want to overdo this method. Okay, and the last part is I want to talk about what kind of gua sha is a very general and easy tool to use at the body, because the acupoint, you know, you don't have to be so exact as the acupuncture. It's like gua sha pan is quite big, you know, you just this area roughly you will get it cured. So it's a much easier to be learned method, and it's especially good for sickness like pain, you know, like waist pain, neck pain, or some blood related like high blood pressure, or for skin improvement. You know, there are a lot of treatment method that is suitable to use this gua sha method. But there are some method that is some sickness that is not so suitable. For example, when the person has some blood issue, for example, this coagulation of the blood is very slow. You know, some people that have this low platelets, example, people with leukemia. So these people are not really advisable for gua sha. And also when let's say this area has some local wound or break of bones or pimples, we don't gua sha on this area because there's already inflammation there. And also for people like just now I say that it is using our own soldiers. So if the person is very old, like over 80 years old, and is very weak, so this minus method is not a good way, you know, that there are better plus way to solve the problem. So old and very weak people with very low blood is also not the best category of person for gua sha. And some people, because they have do this organ transplant and or like this heart stem, like their blood is very thick, so the doctor will ask them to eat this blood thinning medicine. So for this kind of patient, we also have to be careful. They are actually suitable, but when we do, we have to be like slower and don't do overly as well. Okay, and an extreme situation like the person is you know, like heavily drunk or very hungry, very full, or very tired, also this kind of situation is not a good time, not a good time for gua sha. So yeah, I think that's the main point to take note of. I hope that you really you know, if let's say you are doing gua sha even on the face, you know, I hope that you take note of this, and importantly, don't let the wind go into your body and make it worse for you. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye. Hello, just thought of doing some demo on the gua sha itself to show you how to do gua sha. So I'm applying some medical oil. This very good oil infused with a lot of Chinese medicine herbs inside to help us drive the sha away. So I'm using this buffalo horn because the effect is usually faster. If we use a jade is much more gentler. You will need much longer time to see the sha, but of course for the demo I don't want to, you know, be too long. And you can see that the angle that I'm putting on with respect to my skin, so it's almost 90 degrees, because then the strength will be bigger to make it faster. And if let's say it's pain for you, you should reduce the strength and reduce the speed and reduce the angle. It's actually a bit pain for me now, because this is the gallbladder meridian. As I say, I have usually some issue with the gallbladder meridian. You can see that some side is already coming out. So okay, so you can see that this is quite light in color. I think it's still mainly water. For me myself, I have a lot of water and vapour issue more than blood, so it's quite common for me to have this kind of sha. So you see that the skin has thickened and there are a lot of pores there. I can feel some lumps beneath. Yes. Oh, it's really quite pain. Actually, gallbladder is one of the more painful meridian. Depending, some meridian is less painful, but gallbladder is one of the more painful one. So especially when others do for me, you know. But there are a lot of blockage. It's very common for people with stress to have a gallbladder and this liver meridian blockage. So, and if you use jade, it will be much more gentle. You will feel less pain. So the angle you see, if it's 90 degrees, it will be more serious. If you know, like have a very small angle with respect to your body, then it will be much more minor. Okay, just to show mainly the gua sha demonstration. Hope it helps you. Thank you. Skin has become much more uneven after the gua sha. There are like several straps of high points along the stretch. It's not that the whole area is high, but there are several stretch of high points, and overall there's some light red color from it, and there are biggest pores there. So it means that there's mainly this vapor, dirty vapor and dirty water lumps inside. So all the high points are the release of water. So it's painful because there are water lumps blocking inside my bladder meridian. So I hope you can feel the difference, see the difference, and this is how our body can remove the toxic out.